There are a couple of networks the Western world has developed pretty well: roads and electricity. But to make possible a world of electric cars, these two systems need to come together.
So we've got these two major infrastructure efforts. We now need to create effectively the electric road.
Though there are relatively few electric cars on the road today, California-based startup Project Better Place is planning for a time when most cars are powered by electricity and drivers can plug in and recharge all over the place. They'll even be able to switch batteries at specially designed replacement stations.
So you can go into what we call a switch station and swap a depleted battery for a full battery and keep on going in less than 5 minutes.
To encourage people to go electric, Better Place has developed a business model based on mobile phone subscriptions.
We sign up a contract with the consumer for miles instead of minutes. Instead of buying a package with 500 minutes a week, with us you buy a package with 500 miles a week.
And instead of a free phone, you'll get a heavily discounted electric car. It's an ambitious model, and critics argue that it's flawed because its expensive infrastructure won't give enough return on investment.
Electricity is fundamentally a very cheap product, so it has to be provided generally in a very cost-effective way. You can't have gold-plated charging stations because those charging stations don't generate a lot of revenue per day.
Project Better Place hopes to scale up quickly. Though the company is just a year old, it has $200 million of financial backing. It's teamed up with carmaker Renault-Nissan, and its customers include Israel, Denmark, and most recently Australia.
Our goal is to have a first test in 2009 with a few hundred cars, a few thousands of charge spots. 2010, run a full system test with a few thousands of cars, about 50 to 100,000 charge spots and switch stations already in place. And then 2011, have full market access, open it up for about 10,000 cars a month, so roughly about 100,000 cars a year.
But more cars running on electricity will mean a bigger strain on the electric grid.
3 plasma screen TVs use about the same amount of electricity as one plug-in hybrid. So put 100 million plug-in hybrids out there over the next few decades, and it is a significant amount.
Especially if all the cars recharge at the same time. But according to a study by Pacific Northwest National Laboratory, there's enough electricity on the US grid to run 70% of America's cars, provided they charge at night. And that's where the smart grid comes in. Grid operators are developing two-way communications and control technologies to generate and distribute electricity more effectively. It's designed so that appliances, including cars, will automatically know the best time to recharge.
The bulk of it's waiting until 9 o'clock at night when the rates drop very low and you may be getting electricity for 5 cents a kilowatt hour, which is ridiculously cheap. I mean, it's as close to free fuel as you can get.
Utility companies like PG&E are particularly keen on the idea of electric cars using the smart grid because car batteries can store energy.
By having a fleet of electric vehicles across your service territory, you essentially have a fleet of mini storage devices. You have an ability to capture all that electricity in the overnight periods that you may have otherwise spilled or not put to good use.
And the storage capability of electric car batteries could potentially work in reverse too.
A car battery like this could power 500 laptops, and the fact that it can store so much electricity has given developers another idea: to take the energy from the car to the grid. A system known as V2G.
This bidirectional flow could help balance the grid when there's a surge in demand. At the forefront of V2G is AC Propulsion in San Dimas, California. They build drive systems for electric cars, including the Toyota Scion XB.
Well, V2G itself works already. We've done live demonstrations where the car receives signals wirelessly from the grid operator and responds as it should. The difficulty is in getting enough cars on the market and getting them all coordinated through some sort of communication scheme where they can all respond in sync.
That's likely to be years away. But V2G is the more ambitious side of the electric vehicle infrastructure. In the meantime, Tom Gage supports a gradual approach to keeping cars charged up, starting with homes and workplaces and adding complexity when it's needed.
It's more important to plan for the first 5, 10, 15%. And then worry about the remaining market share as the technology develops.
And with new plug-in models from GM, Renault-Nissan and Mitsubishi expected to hit the showrooms from 2010, a world of electric cars could come sooner than we think.